Hello, this is Ross Bliley from the podcast Pigskin Tales. This podcast is sponsored by Sterling Soap Company. With products sold throughout 41 locations around the globe, Sterling Soap Company has a unique assortment of products to choose from for your loved one for the holidays. Handmade artisan soaps created by Roderick and Amanda Lovin since 2012, these products are affordable and provide great value. Act now and save on your shipping costs. If you purchase $75 or more, your shipping cost is free in the United States. Shop now online at sterlingsoap.com.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Yesterday's Sports on the Sports History Network. Today we're going to continue our discussion on the 1972 Dallas Cowboys. We'll pick it up in Week 9. In a game against St. Louis in Week 9, the Cowboys again jumped out to a big lead, leading 17-0 in the second quarter. Cardinals tight end Jackie Smith scored on a 68-yard touchdown reception. With the Cowboys leading 23-10 in the third quarter, Charlie Waters returned an interception 28 yards for a touchdown to make it 30-10. The final score was Dallas 33, St. Louis 24. The Cowboys defense allowed 282 yards passing, but only 54 yards rushing. Calvin Hill, Walt Garrison, and Robert Newhouse combined for 230 yards on 48 carries. Ron Sellers caught 7 passes for 111 yards, including a 41-yard touchdown reception. The Cowboys improved their record to 8-2 with a 28-7 victory over the Eagles. The win featured 2 safeties. It was a big day for the Doomsday defense, which limited the Eagles to just 126 yards and sacked Eagles quarterbacks 9 times. On offense, Calvin Hill rushed for 100 yards and only 15 carries, and Roger Staubach got some playing time for the first time since shoulder surgery 3 months earlier. 4 days later, on Thanksgiving, the Cowboys faced the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers were eager for revenge after losing to the Cowboys in the previous 2 NFC Championship games. Dallas took an early 7-0 lead, but from then on it was all San Francisco. Dallas committed 4 turnovers, and Morton and Staubach were sacked 9 times. The 31-10 defeat put them 2 games behind the first-place Redskins. In a Week 12 game in St. Louis, the Cardinals and Cowboys combined for 10 turnovers. Dallas gained 349 yards and only allowed 141. Calvin Hill rushed for 120 yards, and the Cowboys easily won 27-6. In a rematch with the Redskins in Week 13, the Cowboys built a 28-3 lead by halftime. Washington scored 3 touchdowns in the second half to make the score look more respectable. Behind some great blocking, Walt Garrison rushed for 120 yards on just 10 carries, including a 25-yard touchdown run. Calvin Hill carried the ball 24 times for 111 yards, scored 2 touchdowns, and added another 39 yards receiving. The final score was Dallas 34, Washington 24. The loss wasn't a significant blow to the Redskins, who had already secured the division title. The Cowboys played an uninspired game against the Giants in the final game of the regular season, totaling only 132 yards of offense. The defense struggled to stop running back Vince Clemens, who rushed for 105 yards on 23 carries. Although the Cowboys had already secured a playoff spot, the 23-3 loss didn't sit well with Coach Tom Landry. Calvin Hill became the first Dallas Cowboy to rush for over 1,000 yards in a season. Hill and Walt Garrison made the Pro Bowl, along with Mel Renfro, Cornell Green, and Bob Lilly. John Nyland and Rayfield Wright made the Pro Bowl and All-Pro teams. The Cowboys traveled to San Francisco for the NFC Divisional Playoff, and the start wasn't good for them. Vic Washington returned the opening kickoff 97 yards to give the 49ers a quick 7-0 lead. Cowboys kicker Tony Fritsch booted a 37-yard field goal to close the gap to 7-3. The Cowboys' defense was playing well, but they weren't helped by their offense, which kept turning the ball over. In the second quarter, the 49ers took a 21-3 lead. After another Tony Fritsch field goal, Lance Allworth scored on a 28-yard touchdown reception to narrow the gap to 21-13. But the 49ers responded with a touchdown of their own. Staubach, now fully recovered from his preseason injury, replaced Morton, and Dallas added another field goal in the fourth quarter, but still trailed 28-16 with only 2 minutes remaining. Staubach, who had been sacked 4 times since entering the game, didn't lose his composure and connected with Billy Parks for a 20-yard touchdown. With 90 seconds left, the Cowboys recovered an onside kick. Another strong pass rush forced Staubach to run. An 11-yard completion to Parks followed Staubach's 21-yard scramble. On the next play, Staubach connected with Ron Sellers for the go-ahead touchdown. The Cowboys snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, 30-28. They outgained the 49ers 402 yards to 255. Calvin Hill had a big game, gaining 125 yards on 18 carries. Billy Parks caught 7 passes for 136 yards and 1 touchdown. Now it was on to RFK Stadium to face the Redskins for the 3rd time this season. But this time, a trip to the Super Bowl was at stake. For 3 full quarters, the game was a defensive battle, with the Redskins holding a 10-3 lead. But the Redskins dominated the fourth quarter and cruised to a 26-3 victory. Redskins quarterback Billy Kilmer had the best game of his career, completing 14 of 18 passes for 194 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. His main target was Charlie Taylor, who caught 7 passes for 146 yards and scored 2 touchdowns. It was a disappointing end to another successful season. The Cowboys returned to the NFC Championship game in 1973, but lost to the Vikings. Age finally caught up with the Cowboys in 1974, as they finished the season with an 8-6 record and missed the playoffs. The Cowboys rebuilt in 1975 and made their 3rd Super Bowl appearance in 6 years, but they lost a close game to the Steelers. They won the Super Bowl in 1977 and made a return in 1978, losing another close game to the Steelers. Okay, that will conclude our podcast on the 1972 Dallas Cowboys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, and God bless.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com. Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman, aka the Football History Dude, and I hope that you enjoyed this recent episode presented by the Sports History Network and were able to learn some good old-fashioned sports history knowledge nuggets. I started the Sports History Network back in 2020 with the mission to help podcasters find a community of like-minded sports history nerds, as well as helping aspiring podcasters to start their own shows. We have a little bit over 30 shows on the network right now covering all sorts of sports history, but as far as I'm concerned, we're just at the toothpick in the ocean moment, that can't even figure it out because there's so much more coming. We wanted to create the ultimate headquarters for sports yesteryear, starting with Podcast Network and our website, but we're going to continue to move into other mediums as well. And here's the cool part, because we want you to be part of our team. So if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or maybe being a guest on one of our shows, or who knows, maybe even writing an article for us over on the website. Seriously, all you gotta do is reach out to us on the contact page over at sportshistorynetwork.com. You can be as technologically savvy as a Neanderthal tapping on a stone trying to figure out this whole hieroglyphics thing back in the day. Again, it doesn't matter, because even if you don't understand the whole podcast space, we have a production team that can pretty much help you out with doing everything. All you gotta do, head over to sportshistorynetwork.com, head to the contact page, fill it out. That message goes right to me, and I'll reach out to you as soon as I can. But for now, dude, I'm through if you're through.
Hey there. Welcome to Music Meets Sports, where sports legends meet custom soundtracks and unforgettable stories come to life through music. I'm Sean, the marketing director. Music Meets Sports was created by music producer Ronald Tyke Oliver to bridge generations, educate fans, and celebrate the greatness of both current and former athletes. We craft original songs about heroes in basketball, football, baseball, boxing, and beyond, highlighting their early struggles and personal battles, their faith, character, and drive, their inspiring victories on and off the field. Across genres, hip-hop, R&B, rock, pop, even country, we reintroduce fans to their favorite athletes in a way they've never heard before. From Babe Ruth to Reggie White, from rising WNBA stars to timeless NFL greats, we give legends their flowers in full surround sound. Stream or download our music now on Apple Music, Amazon Music, and Spotify. Visit musicmeetsports.org to explore the catalog, hear new releases, and join the movement that's preserving sports history, one song at a time. And be sure to follow us on Instagram and Music Meets Sports. That's sports with a Z. Music Meets Sports. The raw energy of sports, the emotional depth of music.